enthusiasts, how are you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're well and I hope you're having a great day. Today we're back on the Racing Green and I've got some really exciting news for you. So tomorrow morning I'm jumping in the car 180 miles up north to go and pick the engine up, and then I'm bringing it back here. So big road trip tomorrow, but I will have the engine and gearbox back in my garage, which is absolutely great. It went away over a year and a half ago now, so it will be really fantastic to get that engine back. There is a little caveat though, the head is still being worked on, so I might have to wait a week, another couple of weeks to get the head back, but at least I can get it back. I can bolt it in the engine and start getting all the ancillaries mounted up. So in today's video, I'm just preparing everything, making sure I've got everything. I'm doing, hopefully, one of the very last unboxings because I've spent a lot of money on this car. I will go through the costs at a later date. So we'll do the unboxing, and what I will do, I've been sent loads of pictures and videos of the engine. I'll stick them down here or that side or something like that as we're doing the unboxing. So let's go, let's see what we've got. I will say just straight off the bat, I know already I've doubled up on some parts. So there were some bits that I wasn't sure whether it had been done with the engine build or not. So while I was ordering at Mini Spares, I thought I might as well just get them anyway. As you know me, I'm always working on minis. I've always got a mini going on. So worst case scenario, it will go in my parts store and I'll be fitting it on another mini at some time. So let's just have a look and see what we've got. It's one of those things, even though I ordered these bits less than a week ago, I can never remember. I just sit there putting bits in the Mini Spares basket. So first thing off straight away is a clutch slave cylinder. The existing one on the car, it worked, but it just looked a bit naff and a bit rubbish. Now that is Mini Spares reproduction one. It's not an original one. Hopefully it'll be okay, but there's quite a big difference. I think the OE one's about 50 quid. That was about 27, I think. Bag of bits, what we got in here. So, like I say, I will have probably doubled up on some stuff. I've got some rivets, they're just for the engine number on the block, because obviously the block has been machined, so they have to take the engine number off. Got an 88-degree thermostat, which I believe is correct for that age of Mini. Thermostat housing gasket. I've got a Speedo pinion oil seal. Not sure whether that was done as part of the gearbox rebuild, but I get it anyway. I've got a pair of push rods. So the push rods went up with the engine, however, one has gone missing, so they're £4.80 push rods plus that. So I've got a couple just in case. I've got a rear main oil seal, which I don't need because that's already been replaced and has been replaced with a proper tool. But again, they're only a few quid. And I've got a lock washer for the front crank pulley when that goes back on. Oil filter housing gasket, fuel pump gaskets, they're rubber bushes for the bottom of the radiator. I couldn't find standard ones, so they're poly ones. Don't usually like poly, but on something like the Radiator, really not going to matter. Got a pair of silicone chest plate gaskets. I have a front pulley new nut bolt to go on there. Lots and lots of copper washers for brake hoses and things like that. I don't actually need them now, but I just thought while I'm there, I'm going to order them because they're always that thing where you replace a brake hose and that bit's missing, really annoying. Look at that, genuine MG Rover. That is just a Speedo drive seal. Again, not sure whether it's been replaced, so I'll get the gasket anyway. Then we have, those are a set of engine mount rubbers. They're standard rubbers for the engine steady bar top and bottom. A silicone bypass hose. Now you can get the Kevlar reinforced ones, you can get the standard ones, you can get the convoluted ones which are easy to fit. My experience, the convoluted ones easy to fit but rubbish, and certainly if you're putting the head on the car, why bother with the convoluted one? If you're fitting one when the head is on the car, it does help to fit. Don't like things like blue silicone rubber around the car, but that will be hidden once the head is on the car. You won't see that, so no worries there. We have now a brand new clutch pressure plate, or no, clutch friction plate. So it's a Borg & Beck clutch, brand new clutch plate there for a Verto clutch. The old clutch was fine, but the rear main oil seal was a little bit skewy. It wasn't very straight, so that meant oil had dripped onto it and it was a little bit contaminated. So no point faffing around. I have in here a new ignition coil. Doesn't say much about it, does it? It is. I can never remember. It's a non-ballasted coil, isn't it, on a later car like this? Do not fit this coil to ignition systems with contact breakers. So I mentioned in last week's video, or the weeks before, I'm actually upgrading the distributor and fitting an Evo distributor from Mini Spares, which they specifically make for the Evo cam profile. So the advanced curve of the distributor matches the valve overlap and the timing of the camshaft. So I've got coils all out. I've probably got about 4 coils in this garage, some ballasted, non-ballasted, but for the price of a coil, I know that is the right one for this distributor. No point mucking around. And then we have, this is the Evo distributor. So externally, as you can see, it looks exactly the same as a standard distributor. So quite nice like that. But inside you'll see we have the electronic ignition pickup there. And like I say, this is already set with the correct advance curve to match the camshaft. So that should be very nice. And when the engine's been built as well, the camshaft has all been timed in properly, literally down to the last degree. So should be absolutely brilliant. Hope you saw the video and the pictures down the bottom. It's looking absolutely fantastic, the engine. It'd be great to get it back here. Can't wait till tomorrow. It's a long old drive though, I'm not looking forward to it, but really hats off actually. The gearbox looks absolutely fantastic. It's spotlessly clean and you could eat your dinner off it. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let's get into the rest of this week's video. These are all the bits I've got left. So in these 2 boxes here, some of the stuff is just junk now. But I need to, just find out if I need to order anything. A few bits quickly. So I've got the original radiator that come off the car. This is obviously an aftermarket one. I need the shroud. I'll probably get a new cap just because there's no point fannying around with an old cap. In fact, I've probably bought a cap somewhere. Oh, that's the problem. I order stuff and then forget about it. And I've got a radiator here. It's a genuine original Rover radiator. One of the viewers of the channel, subscribers, One Chish, gave me that along with a load of other parts, and gradually over the last couple of years I've been using those parts. So I think I would prefer to use that original Rover radiator, just really because it's got the original Rover sticker on it, and that one clearly is an aftermarket one. We've got a box of bits here. This will be all engine bits, I think. Yeah, we got bolts for the clutch cover. I need to order a clutch actually. We probably need gaskets for the timing chest. Yeah, I need to have a good old sort through and see what we're keeping and what we need. Engine steady bars, so they'll need cleaning up and painting, need new bushes in them. I've got new engine mounts. I just need to start making a list now. That hose looks horrible. Like I say, the problem is I end up doubling up on a lot of stuff. I got a new washer bottle from a mini show because this one is split, but I need to keep the cap off that. Things like alternator. I mean, I might just order a new one. Let's have a listen. Yep, I'm definitely ordering a new one. The bearings sound awful in that. There's no point putting that back on. They're quite cheap now. It looks mank as well, doesn't it? Water pump. Old one wasn't leaking, but no point mucking around, is there? So yeah, I guess I just need to start making a list. So the distributor, I'm not actually, so this distributor was fine. It's a points distributor. However, I've ordered up a Evo distributor from Mini Spares, which is matched to the cam, so it's got the correct advanced profile in it for the cam timing. So that should make it run nicely. Anyway, it's going to be boring watching me clean all this stuff up, so I suggest I'll probably just cut and then come back to you once a lot of it's done. That starter motor don't look too bad. That'll probably clean up all right. Definitely think I need new hoses. Yeah, right, better start making a list. Just thought I'd show you this quickly. So this radiator's got a few bent fins on this side. Other side, perfectly okay. So the other side will go up against the inner wing. But on the inside, a few bent fans. That'll be where people have been taking the fan belt on and off. Got this little tool. I think Mark actually bought it. Can't remember. Someone gave me that. I don't recall buying that. And it's for straightening out the fins. You literally find the one which corresponds to the gappier fins in the radiator. Put it in. And then you can work it backwards and forwards. You can just get a little screwdriver and do it. Can't do this with one hand. But yeah, we're going to straighten out all the fins. Right, so that tool works quite nicely. You have to, I mean, it doesn't perfectly fit inside all of them. You do have to give it a little bit of a helping hand with a screwdriver on some of them. But be very, very careful, because you can, it's only thin copper on that core, very easy to damage it. Now, I've made this mistake before, so there's a nice radiator stood up there. That was on the Mayfair project, and I cleaned that all up and done it all and painted it, and then it leaked afterwards, so I'm going to pressure test this in a moment. But what I am going to do, I'm just going through all these parts at the moment. I'm looking at stuff thinking, I'm sure I've already bought that. If they're anywhere, they'll be in the boot of the Racing Green, so I need to have a look in the boot. Let's see what I've already bought. I do have a box over here actually, which I've had since before I started the restoration. So I've got pot joints in there, I've got oil filter. What's that? I've got a set of leads, spark plugs, distributor cap and rotor arm, which I'm probably not going to need now. I've got diff seals in there, inlet manifold gaskets. Yeah, I just forget I've bought stuff. Let's have a look in the boot. I'm sure I've bought a radiator cap. Right, lucky I checked, because on my shopping list, which I was just about to go and hit the button on Mini Spares, there's a water pump. And I've already got one with a gasket. Is it the right one? With a bypass. Yes. And as I thought, I've got a rad cap as well. So yeah, I nearly double ordered. I must be jinxed with radiators, so I've got a pressure tester. And I thought I'd better check it first. And it's leaking like a sieve. It's leaking out of this end here, which is right opposite the bolt which holds the cowling. I reckon at some stage someone's put a bolt in there that's too long and punctured the radiator. Well, at least I didn't get round to doing all the hard work and painting it. That radiator is scrap, unfortunately. Well, that is the original radiator. It wasn't leaking. I've just pressure tested it anyway. That's holding 15 psi, which is all it'd be expected to hold anyway, because cap blow off pressure is going to be 15 psi. So question is, I guess, whether I reuse this radiator. Yeah, the Keith of old would have just bought a brand new one, but like I say, I will go into how much money I spent on this car, but it is way too much. So I think we'll be reusing that radiator. I think it's official. I'm getting old. I just keep finding bits that I've already bought, and I'm writing a shopping list at the moment. Luckily I'm finding it, because otherwise I've been doubling up on all sorts of stuff. So just looking over here, and we've got an alternator. I didn't know I bought an alternator. I can't remember buying an alternator, but it's the right one. It's a 45 amp alternator. Looks like I got it from Mini Spares, but I don't remember for the life of me buying that. Right then, a few days later, as you'd have probably seen, I put in an order with Mini Spares, got a load of last minute bits, and I thought to myself, when this had a leak in it, which like I say, pretty sure it's right there, and I reckon a bolt has been put in that's too long and it's punctured it. So I thought, that's fine, I'll just order up another radiator. I did really want to use this one because it's an original Rover one. It's got the right tank on it, and it's a proper copper radiator as opposed to an aluminium one, and it will look lovely when it's painted up. And then to my surprise, it's a long time since I bought a radiator, but the last time I bought a copper cord radiator, I'm sure it was about 70 quid, might have been 75. Now, a twin core radiator, copper core like that, is £150. So I did think to myself, I wonder if there's anything I can do with this one to save it. I've actually just come out and had a look, and maybe I can. So this end piece here is just riveted on, you'll see. So I'm gonna get my little flap disc out. I'm gonna take those rivets off. We'll get this end cap off, and then I'll have a look, because it's copper. It will be soldered together, and yeah, I can do a bit of soldering. Let's get that end cap off and have a look. But before we start making a mess, you will notice TVR car cover. I'll talk about that on the other channel, and I've got the other cars covered up as well, because we don't want to go grinding, cutting, making a mess and getting crap over the cars. Right, that is exactly as I thought. I will get the pressure tester out just to be doubly sure, but you can see the indentations in the fins there. I might just try and move them out of the way. But yeah, that come off quite easily. It was riveted and soldered, so it shouldn't be a problem to solder back on. Just a bit of heat. I've got a bit of flux, but clearly you can see what's happened. Someone's put a bolt in. It's too long. It's gone down. It's punctured the radiator. So bear with me while I clean that up. Right then, let's give it a pump up and we'll have a look. So we can hear it hissing. That is exactly there, right in the middle. It's a little indentation. I'll clean that up a little bit more, and we'll get some solder, and I'll probably just use the heat gun, what am I talking about, blowtorch, and a bit of flux, but I do just need to clean that up a bit more first. Right then, here we go. Did we fix it? I don't hear any hissing. 15 psi, so that is cap blow off pressure. Right, that is good as far as I'm concerned. It's lost half a psi in 5 minutes. I've got no hose clips on it. This type of pressure tester, they always leak a little bit anyway, so I'm convinced that radiator is fine now. There's a close-up of our repair. I've just got to solder back on this end cover now, and then maybe I'll have a go at riveting it. I mean, when it's soldered on, it's pretty good, to be honest. Right then, so we're pumped up to 15 psi. I'm glad I've done it, because can you see there? There's tiny hole, it must be there, which I wouldn't have heard hissing. Everywhere else is fine. Up here is fine where it's been repaired. So I just have to see if I can repair that. Hopefully I can. It all depends how deep was inside the fins, that is. Difficult bit is, I guess I need to mark it. Right, so I'm going in a bit blind here because I can't, that hole is so small I can't actually see it. But you know, that I'm pressurising that up to over 15 psi, which is more pressure. The cap would blow off at 15, so it's more pressure than it would normally have. Just putting a bit of flux down there. And obviously we're pressurising it up with air, not coolant. The actual coolant with glycol in it is a bit thicker. It might not actually leak with antifreeze in it, glycol. But yeah, I guess over time, tiny little leak like that, you would just be losing a bit of water. So let's try and solder it up, see what we can do. It would. The problem is it's wet. It's wet now, so yeah, that's why we're getting. That's why we're getting so much steam. Right, I think I'm just going to have to take that and try it. I reckon that'll probably be all right now. It seemed to be right on the edge there. Let me try and get it from this angle. I'm probably going a bit overkill. Right, so second attempt. I've had that in there for about 15 minutes now, holding 17 psi, so that's way more than cap pressure, way more than it's ever going to have to put up with. And as you can see, no leaks, no tiny bubbles or anything. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with myself over that.
What the f are you doing?
Oh